our witnesses. Mr. Parrish, you're one of the founding fathers of the youth movement calling for action on global warming. Can you tell us how this movement has changed and grown over the last 5 years? What has happened?
In only a few years, this movement has gone from a handful of student groups on college campuses around the country to student groups on over 1,000 schools across the campus. And, we were starting with trying to pass 10% clean energy policies on our campuses. And in this past year, we've passed 426 climate neutrality policies on our campus. So we've seen the interest and the conviction get much deeper. We've seen the support across our generation get much broader, and we've seen tremendous victories from, education to policy.
So what is it about the green movement that is attracting so many young people?
We know that our future is on the line, and it's not only about the environment, it's about our economy, it's about this war, it's about our health, it's about our future. So, young people want to be part of something bigger than themselves. Our society has not encouraged us to build solidarity and to be part of our communities. It has encouraged an individualism and consumerism that has divided us for too long. Our generation is coming together around this issue as a unifying force and a positive vision for this country and for the world.
Okay, you know what I think would be helpful is if you could talk a little bit about the green job potential and where you see those jobs being created and how it can affect your generation in terms of where they work for their time here on the planet.
Great. One of the documents that I'm submitting for the congressional record is the call for a National Clean Energy Corps, which outlines a $200 billion ask for Congress, which sounds like a lot, but actually isn't. The Clean Energy Corps would more than pay for itself in the energy cost savings that it would generate. We want to put $10 billion into doubling opportunities for national service around energy efficiency and climate. We want $50 billion for state, local green jobs development to train people in the skills that they need to weatherize homes, to put up solar panels, to expand green space, and do a number of other activities that help build community and solve global warming. And finally, we want $140 billion for a revolving loan fund to finance energy efficiency projects around the country. We want those jobs to go to the people that have been locked out of the old, dirty economy, and we want to give them pathways out of poverty into the new green economy. We want them to go to underserved communities. We want them to go to veterans from the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq and around the world. We want them to go to workers that are losing their jobs because of manufacturing leaving, or to create a just transition for workers in dirty industries in this country.
Thank you. Well, Ms. Cochran, can you talk a little bit about the community in New Orleans and the jobs that were lost and the impact of Katrina and how you see this green revolution benefiting that community? I mean, it's an illustration of the intensity of the storms that are now hitting all parts of the globe and the impacts that it has, especially upon the poorest people who are most vulnerable.
New Orleans has changed a bit since Hurricane Katrina. We've made a lot of progress, and there's still some ways to go. A lot of the tourist areas of the city has come back. but there are still parts of New Orleans that look the same way it did 2 years ago. As far as jobs lost, a whole community in New Orleans East is still struggling to come back. There were lots of stores, shopping centers, different schools that have not reopened, which a lot of jobs are lost, which caused people to relocate. I know a lot of people in New Orleans still have trouble just rebuilding their homes because the resources aren't available. A store just like Home Depot that was once open is closed, and you have to travel so far just to get the materials needed to put your lives back together. As far as the progress in New Orleans, the way it affects me, I know personally at my university and other universities in the cities, a lot of the degree programs have been discontinued because a lot of the faculty members and staff have relocated because they can't put their lives back together there in the city. A lot of new programs have started. I participated in the Safe Way Back Home program with the Deep South Center for Environmental Justice. And with that program, what we did, we took a block in New Orleans East. We dug up the whole lawn. We resodded it. We put new grass, new landscaping as an incentive to get people to come back, as an incentive to make the community look like it still has life. And, it makes people want to say, this is my home. It doesn't matter if your inside is fixed, but if the block looks like it did the day after Hurricane Katrina, it's not an incentive for people to come back. Another program that's about to start is they're offering training and a grant with HUD, Healthy Homes Project, and people are getting trained in environmentally safe renovations and remodeling work practices, and it includes information on mold remediation, soil remediation, and learning efficient ways to conserve energy in the home. And the next training will be November 17th. So we're starting different things to get people to come back, and just in case another hurricane happens, how to recover quicker. So I think New Orleans is going to come back. I think it's going to take some time, but with help from Congress and other youth leaders, I think we can do it.
Great, thank you. Now, Ms. Lockwood, you were talking about Shishmaref. You made a mention of Shishmaref. How many other communities in Alaska are in the same position? That is, that they are vulnerable as well to the effects of climate change and the impact on that village, and in the same way that tens of millions, maybe hundreds of millions of dollars are going to have to be spent to relocate Shishmaref and the people who live there. Could it happen in other parts of Alaska as well?
Yes, it can, because there are so many communities that live on the coast of all over Alaska, like all the coastal areas, and everybody depends on fish, and it would take a lot of money just to move a place of 500 people, and that doesn't even seem worth it. I mean, it's happened to one community, and my guess is there's over 100 other communities that are in need of help of coastal erosions, and for my community, we do not have enough money from our corporation, or just we don't even have any funding from anywhere to help our own community. So, yeah.
Thank you. Mr. Regan, you were talking about raising the fuel economy standard from 25 miles per gallon to 35 miles per gallon, and having 15% of all of our electricity come from wind and solar by 2020. Do you think that the young people are ready to rally behind that over the next 4 or 5 weeks? We're ready to. We're going to be.